Let's understand a life with God is a life of adventure and discovery about yourself and about God. The more we discover about God, the more what we discover about ourselves. This is the way God works into the world and into our lives. The more we discover about God, the more we discover about ourselves. And the more we use what he's given us, the more he will give us. It's very simple, but very profound. The more we use our talents and abilities, what are they? The things you think about the most, the things that you really enjoy doing. The more we use those things, the more that we will have, especially if they help others, especially if they're God-honouring things. God's word unlocks who we are. There's no two ways about it. You want to find out who you are? Look in God's word. He will speak to you. Look in Psalm 139. Read Matthew 25 and read it with an open mind. Have I been like this? Am I that person? Am I that third servant? If you're not, that's great. I hope I'm like the second servant and I want to be like the first servant. I want God to increase what he's given me and I want to sow it everywhere, and it's happening in my life and it can happen in yours too. Don't get me wrong, it's not about saying, oh, well, that means I need to be like Pastor Tim. It doesn't. You need to be like you. You need to be what you are good at. You need to be what you are doing. Rod, you need to continue to keep painting. All right? You need to continue to do what God's called you to do. If God's called you to look after kids, do that. If God's called, and the list is endless. Rod, you need to keep teaching. All right? Whatever it might be, become the best you can be, and that's only through discovering more about who God is. Don't give up your job. Don't become a pastor. You'd be mad. You need rocks in your head. To be a pastor, don't you, Pastor Rod? Oh, he's not agreeing with me. He loves what he does, and he certainly does do that. He most definitely does. The other part to you need rocks in your head is you also need the call of God on your life. And when that's happening, you'll just find there's a lot of excitement in it. I never believed that, I always knew there was a promise from God for me that I would speak of hope to those who have lost hope, or those who don't have it or haven't heard of it. And now, probably most weeks, I'm speaking to around 300 people through the school here and through Kids Club and whatnot. And it's just like, wow, God, you're doing it. So what did I have to do to make that happen? I just had to be in the right spot. I had to make myself available to God. And then keep asking him, keep searching and say, oh, God, what do you want me to do? I can just help out in the church like everyone else does. That's fine. But I just had this thing going on. God would say, no, there's more. I want you to do more. I want you to do, he didn't spell it out, but I just had to be there following along, looking for opportunities. It's called the astronaut list. Have you ever done the astronaut list? The astronaut list is when you sit down one day and you're going to make a list about your vocation or about the job you would really like or what you'd like to do with your hobby, spare time. I call it the astronaut list because often people say, well, yeah, I'd like to be a brain surgeon, I'd like to be an astronaut, I'd like to be a scientist, or whatever it might be. That's an important list. It's important if you're honest with yourself. You have to write an honest list. And for me, at the top of the list was, well, I think I want to be a pastor. I'm pretty sure it just keeps coming up. I just want to, I don't know, I think so. And so I started following that road and being available for God. But you might want to be an astronaut. Literally. I don't know, maybe you watch too many space movies or something. But find out, write that list. And it's never too late. It really isn't too late. And I'm not just talking about vocation here. I'm just talking about what you do with your time. Do something that makes you sing. If Heather was up here leading worship most weeks and she hated it, well, how do you think it would come across? She loves it. And she's often singing in the office too, during the week.
Worthy is the Lamb. Worthy is the Lamb. You are holy.
And it's fantastic. So do what you love.